Hey stewards, welcome to a brand new four-part series that I'm going to be doing on invasive species in the Chicago area. So this first part is just going to be what is a native plant, what is a weed, what is an invasive species. The second video is going to be a two-parter. The first is going to be me talking about the top 12 invasive plants in our area. And then the second part will be 13 through 32. And that is from a list that is made by Bob Sullivan and Henrietta Saunders. Bob is a retired environmental scientist with director of Argonne Laboratory, and Henrietta is she's with the Illinois Master Naturalists. She's with Cook County, so super knowledgeable people. And there's actually a group of professionals that helped make that list, compiled it together. They actually ranked things in order, so that's going to be super exciting and super important to talk about. And then the final part of this series is going to be about Chicago Botanic Garden's list of invasive species. I hope I can interview someone from them and maybe do like a podcast type interview. But again, this is the four-part series, so thank you for watching, and let's get into it. So what is a native plant? A native plant, kind of the simplest way to put it, a native plant is a plant that is from a certain region from during pre-European colonial times. So we're talking early 1600s, especially for the East Coast. Illinois, you're talking maybe 1700s. So when we're looking at native plants, we're going back a few hundred years. What plants are typically historically known to be from the area? There is some confusion about what a native plant is in regards to, is it native to the state? Is it native to the continent? So this is where the importance of ecoregions come into play. And to put it simply, ecoregion is defined by geography, is defined by topography, so different elevations, is defined by different like wetlands, rivers, that sort of thing. So Illinois has three distinct ecoregions. There's the south, middle, and then the north. Possibly four. I don't remember exactly how many there are. So historically, plants are native to a local ecoregion. The ecoregion I'm in is about, I don't know, I want to say a couple hundred miles, maybe 100 miles in diameter. My math is off a little bit. So just because a plant is native to southern Illinois, the southern tip of Illinois, doesn't mean it's native to our Chicagoland area. So that's important for people to understand, especially if they're trying to support wildlife in the area, if they're wanting to do habitat restoration. If we in the Chicago area are using plants that are native to southern Illinois, that's not as high quality as a plant that's native to the Chicago area. So that's important. Secondly, what is a weed? A weed is simply a plant that you don't want. Okay? So a weed can be a native plant. It could be an exotic plant from Europe or Africa. It can be an agricultural plant that you just don't want in a certain space. But typically, a weed is a plant that you don't want. So if we're doing a naturalistic type of design, let's say we're doing a prairie in your yard, the more naturalistic you're going, the more tolerable you're going to be of native plants that are just volunteering in that space. But the more formal you want to be with that design, if you want it to look a certain way, you might pull plants even though they're native to the area just because it doesn't belong in that space because it's a garden. A common weed in our area is the dandelion. Most habitat managers that I'm aware of, they don't consider dandelions invasive in our natural areas here in Chicago. They're only a problem, a nuisance, you'll say, in lawns or in freshly exposed sites. So dandelions, they're typically considered a weed. They're not invasive. They're not native to our area. They're from Eurasia. And contrary to popular belief, they do not provide a lot of nutrients for our native bees. They do provide some nutrients. I have seen a red admiral on dandelions. I've seen bumblebees on dandelions, but that's mainly because I don't have a lot of spring flowers that are native in my yard. I have some, but not a lot. And I will say the time I've seen a bumblebee on the dandelion was very minimal. The red admiral was on it quite a bit because, well, it was hungry. It wanted food. So finally, our third category for this first video is what is an invasive plant. So an invasive plant is a plant that's non-native. It has weedy tendencies. We don't want it. But most importantly, a native plant is incredibly aggressive and it outcompetes native plants in the natural areas. So an example of an invasive plant is the infamous Bradford pear or Callery pear. I think most Midwesterners understand that Bradford pears are incredibly aggressive and has weedy tendencies. So they are an invasive species. They will take over a naturalistic grassland prairie area. They are a problem. So this leads me into part 2. That'll be another video, a 2-parter. Again, I'm going to have the top 12 invasive plants in the Chicago area, and then I'm going to have plants 13 through 32. But I'm also going to talk a little bit about how this list was made. Again, from Bob Sullivan and Henrietta Saunders. Thank you very much for them. There is a link available, and I will share that with you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you tag along. Thanks for watching.